All right, so basically, I will tell you my background and my story, and we'll go around to Hannah and Allie. As you know, I told you, Ashley, I've been a hygienist for 10 years. Half of it was at another DSO, and the other half was at a private practice. After 10 years, I was like, okay, I kind of want to do something new. I'm actually back in school. I'm getting my master's in health communications.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Even though this role that I have now does not require it, I just wanted to get it. And my role is an academic and industry relations manager, which I basically go around to the dental hygiene schools in my area, which are my area, and support dental hygienists and talk about Aspen if they're interested, and go from there. And then Hannah, she's on my team as well. So is Allie. Hannah, you want to give your background and everything, an intro?
Yeah, I'm Hannah. I am a hygienist, but right now I'm currently the territory manager for hygiene. So I clinically support my territory. So I have about 32 different offices, about 40 some hygienists, and I'm their clinical support. So any questions clinically, I'm just their resource to be there for them for the hygiene business.
Yep. And
so awesome to have that support, especially as a new graduate entering the workforce.
Totally. Yes. Yep. And then Allie, you want to give your intro?
Yeah, hi. So I have been with Aspen for a couple of years now. I was from a prior DSO, another DSO. And what I do is I talk to the hygienists in the North Central area and just kind of get an idea of what they're looking for in their career and see if we're a fit. And then just also tell them about the Aspen culture and, you know, really who we are and what we do.
I should say too, I have Pa here with me. She's one of our amazing hygienists in Maplewood. So if anyone wants to ask her any questions about being an actual hygienist within Aspen, the day-to-day, she's a great resource for you guys.
Excellent. Thank you for joining.
How long have you been with Aspen?
Just since March of this year.
Okay. Did you just graduate recently or?
I've been doing this for about 8 years.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been in a lot of big companies and Aspen is definitely a different culture, which is a good thing. Yes.
Yeah.
So Pa and I used to work together at a previous DSO and now both came to Aspen together.
Yes.
Not at the same time, but yeah, small world.
Yeah. All right, Ashley or Steph, what questions do you have for us?
Stephanie, did you have any questions? Otherwise, I have a couple.
If you could roll it off. I wasn't thinking I'd be so participatory in the very beginning. I need to gather my thoughts.
It's okay, no pressure.
It's Monday morning, it's okay.
Yeah. So I was wondering, so you mentioned culture, Pa. Can you describe the culture as, as you mentioned, you're a new employee there. So maybe sharing with Stephanie the, onboarding process and, kind of what it's like in the day of a hygienist at Aspen.
Yeah, so a day with Aspen, you see quite a lot of new patients. But one thing that I respect about Aspen is they make sure they take care of any pain that the patient is experiencing that day. You work at a lot of private practices or even big companies, and they don't disregard it, but they kind of put it off. They have their regular schedule, and they would prefer to just kind of go off of that. But one thing I respect about Aspen is we see new patients that are in pain, and the goal is to get them out of pain. And I haven't experienced that anywhere else. And I've worked for quite a lot of dental offices. So, and day to day, you have your schedule. They're great about working with you about time. So if you're a new grad and you need a little bit more time, they're really flexible about that. So they'll work with you. And as you pick up, you can, decrease the time. Typically it's about 1 hour to see patients. That's pretty throughout. And so that's one thing. And Hannah's been great. Hannah was here.
Thank you.
You have great support here. Your managers, you have your Hannah here, and they'll sit here with you and go through everything that you need to be successful. So
Yeah, I was just gonna chime in. So typically when a hygienist is hired, they have anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks of training. Oh, pause, gotta step away here. But they have 2 to 3 weeks of training, which consists of in-office training and then modules via our blueprint learning system. So it's a very comprehensive training before even getting your feet wet with patients. And then once you do start to see patients, like Pa said, you're the provider in the practice, so you can set your timing to whatever you want. And then you have your mentor right there with you for that first week of seeing patients as well. So we don't just leave you off to yourself. We kind of guide you and get you ready to go and set you up to be successful long-term.
Right.
So is it because the new hire would be doing the modules the first couple weeks, could they do that before maybe they have their license in hand, and then, or if they're waiting for it, if they've already applied and waiting for that? Okay.
Yeah, so Allie can speak to this a little bit too, but a lot of our offices are very flexible with hiring. So sometimes we'll have people be hired on even before they get their license and start training before their license is obtained. That way they can really learn our computer system, really learn kind of the day in and out of our offices without actually doing that clinical piece. Some people will come on or if they are already licensed and do a little bit of both. So some days will consist a little more of the online learning and then the in-office or clinical learning. It's really just a mixture. That's the one thing I will say Aspen's really good at, is kind of adapting to the wants or the needs of the person being hired.
Great.
Perfect. And I'm sorry, did you say that there was an opportunity for new hires to maybe shadow an existing hygienist in the office before starting?
Of course, we have many new students, new hires, just to make sure it's a good fit. We obviously want it to be a good fit for you guys and a good fit for us. We have many different offices. All of them have a little bit, obviously, of different cultures. So really just finding that good home for you guys.
Right.
Yeah, we love shadows. So anytime somebody would love to shadow or see a hygienist in action, let myself or Hannah or Leah know. And we would love to be set up to just kind of see what it's like. Because we have great docs, Hannah's fantastic. And, we have really great hygienists that would love to kind of show what they do. And, and those hygienists would love to have a partner for the future. So they would, they would get excited too, to kind of show the ropes.
Yeah, of course.
On a separate note, I don't know why it triggered in my mind, but would Aspen be open to, one requirement for admission at Herzing is to shadow a hygienist? Would Aspen be open to that as well? They would be very new, but possibly. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I would say, if you're interested in the dental field, Aspen is really willing to help you be successful and partner with you throughout. So even if you're just thinking about dentistry or dental hygiene, dental assisting, anything, they're really willing to work with you to let you understand the business and what it takes clinically each day.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they would love that. So if that is something you guys are interested in, let us know. I think that's something that we'd really enjoy and absolutely like to team up about.
Perfect. Yeah, I know that our admissions department has said that, some students don't even know really where to ask to shadow either. So totally. I will kind of put a bug in their ear that Aspen would be open to it. And who should they, which I don't want them to bombard you guys with emails, but if they just one of us three, yeah, we would be happy to if we're not the right person, we'll lead you to the right person, because I think that that would be a great way for us to kind of showcase, and then they could go straight to us rather than kind of knocking on a dentist's door and saying, hey, can I hang out? But we can make sure that they're welcome there and all prepared and feel really, welcome. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, Steph, jump in anytime. So Hannah, could you maybe explain a little bit more about, like, I know Paul was talking about the day-to-day and how you typically get, well, 1 hour, but if they needed more time, they could have more time. What is the kind of flow between the hygienist and doctor and the rest of the team working in the office?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say Aspen is a really collaborative environment. So the hygienist, the dentist, the dental assistants, we have an in-office, or in each clinic has a lab. Everyone works together every single day. So very collaborative, especially between the dental hygienist and the dentist. So Aspen is set up a little bit differently than other clinics. So you would have your normal hygiene chair where you would see your prophy patients, your perio maintenance patients, your SRP patients. But then all of our new patients, for their first appointments, go through a new patient chair. So what that looks like is the dental assistant will be doing like the medical history, taking the x-rays. So all of our new patients will come out of our new patient chair with a full mouth series and a pan to have that comprehensive exam done. And then while you are doing your hygiene chair, you'll do step-aways intermittently to go see the new patient and do the perio exam and describe what treatment is needed for the new patient. It's kind of a nice way for that new patient to understand comprehensively all of the treatment that is needed. And then they'll come to your hygiene chair once it's diagnosed. And that's where you'll see them for the actual treatment. So the nice thing is I always like,
day?
So sometimes they'll be on the same day, sometimes they'll be on a separate day, depending upon what your schedule looks like for the day.
Sure.
So if there's a cancellation or an opening and someone needs a prophy, you can just do same day, obviously. Otherwise, their hygiene treatment will be on a different day. I really like it and really appreciate it. I know coming out of school it's a little different, but it's nice as a hygienist not to have to take the full side.
That's what I said too. I was like, oh my gosh, what a relief.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's nice that they're coming into your hygiene chair. You've already had the conversation about what type of treatment is needed. They're coming there for that treatment and all of the other stuff is done. And so you can just get steps completed in a series a little bit easier.
I think it's really great too that the hygienist is involved right away, doing the periodontal readings and recommending treatment right off the bat, because, sometimes in other offices where maybe the dentist and their assistant alone see them for, the new patient exam or the comprehensive exam, the focus is more so on, restorative, and the perio kind of gets not discussed as much until they get into your chair, and then they're surprised if something rather than a prophy is needed.
Yep. No, like I said, we're very collaborative here. The nice thing is too, I know we're all hygienists and focus a lot on the hygiene treatment. The doctors do too. So a lot of times, obviously pain is going to be a number one step, get the patient out of pain. But second usually is hygiene and then restorative. We want to make sure they have a really strong foundation and then do that restorative piece.
Awesome.
So it's a very comprehensive dentistry approach. Yep.
Yeah, very thorough too.
Good. How do you recommend, so as a new grad, obviously new graduates don't have experience working with a doctor in that way. Of course, here they have a supervising doctor and they discuss x-rays and, the local anesthetic they're going to give and things like that, but they don't really have they talk to their instructors, hygienist, their hygiene instructors about the treatment plan and things like that, as far as the periodontal treatment plan. But so how would you recommend building that relationship with the doctor that's new to you and, kind of so you're on the same page, essentially?
Yeah, I would say open communication. That's why with our training program, you're set up with a hygienist or a mentor hygienist. And they can kind of show you how to cultivate those different relationships. But I would say the biggest thing is communication, really working with the dentists. All of our dentists in Aspen are great too. They're great teachers above and beyond. So they're really there to help you guys be successful too. So they want to create those lines of communication, give you guys that education you need. So you don't only have me or your mentor hygienist, all the dentists are there willing to help you along the way as well.
Yeah, it's really a team effort too.
Yeah, I was going to bring up, I think that's a great point that Hannah says, is one thing that Aspen has set up with the foundation is it's never hygienist versus hygienist or any of that. Everybody always has the same goal.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, one person wins, everybody wins. So I think really that team environment and either this person sees this patient and makes that money, you know, nothing like that. It's really a team environment. And if the office does well, if one hygienist does well, everybody does well. So everybody's really kind of rooting each other. And I think that's a really smart and awesome thing, the way that Aspen really set that up.
Yeah.
I agree. I wish I went for Aspen Action being as a new grad because I didn't have anyone come into my school and talk about it. I just remember my school was like, no DSO, don't go to DSO. Like they're bad. So 10 years ago. And like now I like, ever since I've been with Aspen, I was like, oh, I should have been an Aspen hygienist. And also like 10 years ago, things were different. Like they've totally like, changed their model around and it's more patient focused, more like, you know, it's just so different than what it was. I feel like a few years or 10 years ago, at least.
Mm-hmm. I know we work, I've talked a lot with Sherry Score, and she was explaining that too, that, you know, there's so much support there. And one thing that I keep trying to say with, you know, the DSOs, like you've said, is where in a private practice, there's, you know, sometimes like the hygienist, the doctor, the assistant, the front desk person. And if you need support, it's really kind of, I mean, the dentist can still go, you know, above and beyond, but it's not like there's another hygienist there to support you that kind of knows like what you're, you know, what you need. And the dentist is trying to do their job, you know, too, and manage the business, which is
a lot.
Yeah, a lot to do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even like with Aspen, like there's opportunity for growth. Like at another DSO, I was a hygienist for 10 years and there was no opportunity for growth. At a private practice, there was no opportunity. Like I could be an office manager and I didn't want to do that. At Aspen, like if, let's just say down the road, 10 years down the road, like me, like you kind of want to retire from dental hygiene clinically, you can be a territory manager like Hannah, you could be a division director support of hygiene, you could be the VP of hygiene, like you would just like work your way up. You can be on the academic team like me, like there's so many different opportunities. It's really nice. And I had no idea until I joined too.
Yeah. Could you maybe go into like what would be needed for each one of those positions as well? Like, is there additional schooling that would be required, or maybe just a different level of experience?
Not necessarily. Like we usually hire internally to work your way up. I was a rare one that hired externally, but there's 2 girls on my team that have their associates and they just been, you know, one of them is as a hygienist for 22 years and the other one was a hygienist for 4 years. So it just depends if they want to, you know, if they feel like working their way up or not. And there's, yes, like the job description was bachelor's degree, I remember, as a minimum. And I remember a girl on my team was like, she just messaged the person who posted it and like, well, I have this experience. Like, do I need a bachelor's? Like, no, just apply to it. And she got the job.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I think it has a lot more to do with being a hand raiser. So being vocal about what you want to achieve within the company. Pa, she's not in here, but she's a great example. So a week ago, she said, hey, I've been doing clinical for 8-9 years now. I want to start looking at other resources. So that's where, you know, I can partner with her. Her regional manager can partner with her and give her different stretch assignments, get her some visibility to different opportunities and really help her find her way within Aspen.
Right.
Awesome. Oh gosh, what was I going to say? Oh, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this or not, but so our students, they all graduate with bachelor's degrees now. So, so that would be
really
awesome.
amazing.
I think they're,
yeah, really sets them up to be very successful in the hygiene community. That's awesome.
Totally.
Let's see. Those are all the questions I can think of. Steph, what kind of questions did you have?
Sure. I have a couple that I noted just on the conversation. Let me go back here. Okay, so you said that there's training at the beginning, which is wonderful, and it was good to hear some positivity about the DSO. So thank you for that. And then as far as setting your own timing for appointments, I didn't understand, is that kind of as the get-go, as you're getting up to speed, or is that sort of an ongoing thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say it's always ongoing. We really value our hygienists as true providers in the practice. So with being a provider in the practice, you are allowed to set your own time. So if you need 90 minutes, if you need 2 hours for an SRP, it's really up to you to delegate your timing and what you want. With that being said, I know as a clinician, things always change. So you can change your timings as you want to, which is really nice. You have full autonomy of your own schedule.
Yeah, you treat it like your own little business.
Oh, that's interesting. So it must be a purely production-based comp model then.
No,
Nope,
not at all.
not at all. We are actually hourly. We provide a really strong hourly for you guys. And then above and beyond that, we do have different incentive programs, but you guys have your guaranteed hourly.
Mm-hmm. And like when I worked at a private practice, let's just say a patient in the middle of the day or the beginning of the day, they canceled, I would have to go home. Like I would have to clock out and go home. At Aspen, you're actually guaranteed your whatever, like your 8 hours or whatever that day it is. And then also like the incentive is based on like the patients get a survey at the end of their appointment. And it's kind of like based off the survey, if they had a great time or not. And it's like office based. It's not just you, it's the whole office.
Oh, that's cool. Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Before you go on, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to like add on to what Leah said. I have also worked at an office that was purely production, and like you said, Leah, if a patient doesn't come, you're essentially not getting paid in that type of role. So I think it is really cool that you guys have like an hourly, not only like an hourly rate, but also that, even if the patient's not there, the hygienist is still getting paid, because even some offices I've heard that do hourly, the hygienist was expected to clock out if they don't have a patient in their chair. So that's really nice of you guys. It shows how much you support and respect the hygienist. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a huge mix.
And you'll see, especially in the northern states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, because there will be a week or two where patients aren't coming in because it's so snowy or, really bad weather. It's going to happen, but you still have to pay rent. You still have things that you have to do. So just having that guaranteed hourly, that's one of my biggest, even if you don't choose Aspen, to make sure that you go to a practice that has that, so you know at least what you're coming home with every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's great. Love it. What about, so we have the comp. So ongoing training, I know you mentioned how there's a lot of opportunity, which it's great to hear. What about for, budgets for going to conferences or special educational events as a hygienist?
So we have free CEs, and not just the Aspen hygienist, to anyone who wants the CEs. I don't know, what's it really like if they want to go to conferences? I feel like I know we pay, and I'm in Chicago. I'm on the Illinois Dental Hygiene Association board, and also they paid for the hygienists here in Chicago for the ADHA membership as well. They're like, I don't know, I feel like if you want something, you ask and they'll support you for it, and they'll pay for it usually.
Okay. Yep, that's what I was going to say. So Aspen offers pretty much all of the amount of CE hours you need within Aspen, CPR and everything included. So that's one really huge benefit that Aspen does provide, is you can get all of your CEs without having to look at external sources. But then above and beyond, the clinics will sometimes go to the events as a team. Otherwise, like Leah said, ask and you shall be rewarded. If you're very vocal or wanting to go to different training, different learning, different education, talk with your office manager or your regional manager, and they will figure it out for you and get it done.
Right.
Yeah, what I've seen is that they like to reward those that kind of want to further themselves in business. You know, they're not going to shoot you down if you're like, hey, I really want to learn this, you know, because they'll be like, hey, come back and tell us if it's worth us, all of us going, kind of a thing.
Right.
I'm not saying that that may not go for everywhere, but that is what I have seen. And I've been to a big CE before where in Illinois, they invited all the hygienists in this one region. So I was in a room with, a bunch of the Aspen hygienists, and we were sitting there and we had a CE. So that was really cool because I was able to see how they did that. And, it was at a lodge and it was really neat. And then also you have that camaraderie because you're getting to talk to other Aspen hygienists and see how they do things, see how they like it. So I thought that was a really neat thing because you also have that network of friends and coworkers, right?
Yeah. Steph, you have any more questions for us?
I do. I just put this new screen protector on my iPad and it's making my scribbles even more scribbly. So bear with me a moment here. I'm like, ooh, what is that? It's right there. Okay. Going back to that dental hygiene, the new patient chair.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's mainly a dental assistant and they're doing all the intake they can possibly do within their licensure. And then a dental hygienist is assigned to go into that chair, kind of like, let's pretend like the dentist, floats in and does exams for hygiene. Is that kind of what you were saying? The hygienist will come in and look at the perio, weigh in on there, and then, but they won't, sorry, what am I trying to ask? But that's not like their home chair for the day, shall we say?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So you'll have your own separate hygiene chair within that chair. So say you're working 8 to 5. You'll have your mixture of SRP, prophy, perio maintenance patients. But then in a whole separate chair or column, there will be a new patient. And what happens with that new patient is the DAs will get them from the front office, greet them, go through their medical history, their dental history. The DAs will then take the x-rays for you, and then we use a digital or 3D dental health scan as well, so the DAs will take that as well. Pretty much set you up to be successful for your perio exam. They'll come and grab you. Sometimes you'll be in the middle of a patient, sometimes you won't have a patient. They'll come and let you know they're ready for the perio exam. You'll go into the new patient exam, introduce yourself, kind of describe what you're going to be doing, ask chief concern, the normal questions us as hygienists ask our patients. So brushing, flossing, home care habits, all the fun things. Then we'll do the perio exam, let them know what type of treatment is needed, kind of describe, SRP or gingivitis, if they need those different type of treatments, or prophy, kind of educate them on those or any products that are needed for the patient. And then we go grab the dentist, and the dentist will do the comprehensive exam piece for his portion of it. So by the end of the new patient visit, the patient will know exactly what is needed comprehensively for their treatment here at Aspen. And then the next day or a week from then, you could potentially be seeing the patient in your hygiene chair for the treatment that you had prescribed with the dentist.
Right.
Does that make a little more sense? Yeah,
no, it does. Thank you.
Okay.
It seems like a refreshing, efficient model you guys have going on there.
It's very efficient. I personally, as a hygienist, being in all different types of practice, I've done DSO, I've done private practice. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of work to see a new patient in your hygiene chair, take that full set, and then have to tell them they still yet have to come back another day because they need SRP, that kind of stuff. This way, it kind of streamlines it for you and the patient. They know exactly what they're coming in for. And then it sets your hygiene treatment up to be a lot more successful because you get that full 2 hours to do the treatment that's needed, or 90 minutes, whatever you choose.
And Hannah, I wanted to note, also, you would not be the one discussing the financials or the insurance.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good one to share. Thank you.
Yes.
Relief
So,
on your
Yeah, because that's a fear of a lot of people. So I just wanted to reiterate that.
The nice thing is too, you don't have to, us as hygienists, obviously we're caregivers. We want to do what's best for the patient. And a lot of times we let money, that kind of stuff cloud our judgment. This way, you don't have to let that piece cloud your judgment at all. You can prescribe exactly what is needed for the patient and do the right thing, and then let the office manager kind of deal with that back end, getting that treatment accepted and getting that financial piece figured out.
And we have lots of different options for them to pay. You know, we deal with care
credit.
Yeah. And we do have other options. So money is a thing, like Hannah said, we really just want to do what is right. And then we worry about that on the other end, treat patients like your mother kind of a thing. Right. And then I like that, because then it's like, then we'll talk about money. But at this point, let's do what's right. But there, and we're also very upfront with our costs of things. You could see most of the cost of what everything is online, on the website. So I always thought that was really great, because even me going to the dentist, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be $80 or $2,000 coming out. Like, it's just so intimidating. And we're very upfront, and we try to help people out and make it as easy as it can be.
Right. I've actually seen bad reviews on Aspen that was like, oh my gosh, I walked out with X amount of dollar treatment plan. But also, like Allie and Hannah said, we give a comprehensive, so from start to finish. Like, I've worked at my other private practice where she would be like, okay, let's just give them this and we'll talk about what they need next year because they're insurance or something. But we just give the full on what it's going to be, and they can break it down when they want to do it.
Mm-hmm. I would like to bring up, so we do have a brand new thing that we are doing. So I wanted to know, could you guys talk a little bit more about the motto that we have? So, we have our own aligners, right? And it's brand new. So yeah, I know, Leah, I know you were there for the reveal, and Hannah, I know you work with them every day. Could you guys, Steph and Ashley, a little bit about what the motto is?
Yeah. So Aspen's huge thing is breaking barriers for access to care. With that, Aspen has their own clear aligner brand called Motto. So we are now able to offer clear aligners within our offices to help streamline that process for our patients. We also use, like I said, the 3D digital health scans for all of our patients, not only as an education piece, but as a restorative piece as well. So we use top of the line, brand new, always evolving technology, with each of our patients.
Yeah, our technology is cool. You always get trained on it. You always get paid to get trained on it. Like, you're not like just taking a day off and not getting paid for it. And it's like so there's Invisalign, and then there's Smile Direct Club. I don't know if you guys have heard of Smile Direct Club, but it's like an in-between, as in the cost of that. And you're still dealing with the dentist every day, which is nice, because I know Smile Direct, you just take your own impressions, they send them to you. And then it's basically like an Invisalign, but basically our own aligners. They can be printed that day.
Yeah, and I think that's what one of the big things is the access to care. When you get the aligners, from what I hear, it's the thing with Invisalign is you're waiting a couple weeks to get them. With Motto, you're able to get that, and you are able to get them printed that day and walk out with aligners and already start your treatment. And I thought that is a great way for kind of Aspen to, quote unquote, get into the aligner game, but also have something that really goes with our motto or model, and gives access to care as quickly and as cost efficient as possible.
Yeah, I agree.
2 questions about that. So, so for those clear aligners, how are the patients being managed on them? Like, is it just when they come in for their routine dental work, or it's more in depth, right? So that a dentist is really checking and make sure everything is moving the way they want it to move.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's exactly like you said. So the the patient will be in the dentist chair every so often, almost like you would be at a normal orthodontist office. in doing those checks, making sure the teeth are moving the way they want them to be moving, and then changing it as needed as well.
Okay, so there's dentists that are, either specialists in ortho or they have extra training and experience with it. Is that what you're saying? Or is it kind of your general dentist, they know enough that they manage it?
All of our dentists have the motto training and that experience needed in order to do those clear aligners. Yep.
Right. Yeah, there's no ortho in the office. It's
Okay.
just the dentist doing with all the training that they had.
Awesome. And then I was going to ask you about technology because that's a lot of fun and you already started down that path. So, as far as like say lasers, and I don't know if ozone therapy is something that aligns with Aspen's model, but do you do anything like that sort? Because I think that stuff's fascinating.
Yeah, so Aspen is huge with new technology or proven technology. That is one thing we have been looking to get into our territory and get the laser certification for our hygienists. So you're right on the money with that one. Above and beyond that, we use all of the proven adjuncts or the LAAs and the different recommendations for treatment. The 3D digital health scan is one that we really have utilized for that education piece, that record. So that's one of our newest, I would say, accomplishments. But then above and beyond that, we use, our electronic charting system is new and always evolving and updating. We have a really good team to kind of come up with all of our new technology. We use voice activated perio charting, really anything to make your guys' jobs easier and streamlined is what Aspen tries to focus on.
Yeah, so not all offices have the laser. We mainly use Arrestin with SRPs, but they are talking and looking about, it's just every state is different on the licensing and the certification for laser. So they're figuring it out because that's the goal to, I think, get everyone to do laser. But right now it's Arrestin and what's the other one that they use, Hannah?
Arrestin and Atriodox.
Yeah, Atriodox. Do you guys use Arrestin in school or what do you guys use in school?
We use Arrestin.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I never got taught on Arrestin in school. I remember on the other practice, they're just like, here you go. And I'm like, how do you do this? Like,
one thing that was cool, and I completely forgot until you brought it up again, was Sherry was so proud of the voice activated perio charts.
It's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Jealous.
Yeah. So the voice activated perio charting has been officially rolled out into every single office. With that, you can perio chart everything. You can perio chart your gum measurements, your recession. It will calculate your clinical attachment levels or loss for you. You can chart mobility, bleeding, literally everything to have a comprehensive perio chart.
so I'm sure it saves a lot of time between going back and forth to the computer and back to the
it saves a
patient.
lot of time.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it saves a ton of time going back and forth, and then like that infection control piece too is huge. So you're not having to touch the computer a ton of times or any of that.
Yeah, I almost had to mute myself when you said that perio charting because that's like something I'm like, I don't care where I work. I need to like buy that. Can it somehow go into their EMR?
Right.
So that's great that you guys are doing that. Everyone appreciates it. So your e-chart, what is your charting that you use? Is it like EagleSoft, Dentrix? I mean, what do you have?
Aspen has their own.
Okay.
So yep. Aspen has completely made their own throughout your training. It's called EPMS. You have extensive learning on EPMS, but I will say it's kind of like the Apple product of dental records or electronic dental records. It's pretty self-explanatory. They set all the tabs up for you to be successful. You can see everything right there on that screen. So you have a full comprehensive chart visible to you at all times.
Yeah, every hygienist I've asked about the software, because I feel like always the software is kind of scary for me because it's like, oh, I've learned EagleSoft, I've learned Dentrix, but like it just like anything's new, it takes like a few weeks to get used to. Then it's like, okay, now you love it. You don't want to like do anything else.
Yeah, the
just
learning
enjoy.
curve. It sounds like you support your people
It's
well.
easy though. It's
People-
user friendly.
Yeah. It's good to hear. Let's see, looking through more of the, looks like chalk scratches on here. Okay, so we did technology. You just said something that I had a question for, and now I can't see it. Okay. Well, let's go back to, we were talking about the patient schedule, which I like the flexibility there a lot. On the employee side, so as a hygiene, and this is more in, comp really, but like, how is scheduling as a hygienist, especially if you're starting, how much do you have control over time off, days worked, just everything there?
Yeah, that's the great thing about Aspen is everyone's really accommodating and flexible to you. Obviously coming on, there's PTO and everything, and Allie can speak to some of those benefits as well, a lot better than I can, but every hygienist has their PTO, their sick days, all of that kind of stuff. And the team's really there to be flexible with you. And so I would say, every hygienist is different, but no one's going to make you do something or come to work, if you're sick or any of that kind of stuff.
What is the requirement though? Let's just say you want to go on a vacation. Like, do you have to give a month notice, or what's like the?
We try and do 2 weeks to a month's notice. There is a time off request form that you can fill out that will be approved either by your office manager or regional manager. So it's pretty easy to do and complete. And then that will also let you know if that time off request was accepted.
So we do have like a full line of benefits, which is what this PTO really kind of falls into. So if you work 30 hours or more, if that's what you're looking for, 30 hours or more, you are considered full-time or eligible for benefits. So the benefits, we have 3 different health benefits, not health. What am I thinking of? Maybe is it health? Why am I not thinking the right word?
Yeah, health.
And maybe it is health. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm like doctor benefits. Yeah. So we have 3 types of health benefits. And then we also have 2 types of vision insurance. We have a basic and advanced. And then dentistry for yourself and your dependents is essentially free minus lab fees, right? It's a very, very discounted program. So anything that you need is very, very extremely discounted. And besides that, we have a 401k, we match up to 4%. I know a lot of people coming out of school aren't really thinking about retirement or are, but it's great to have that option because I feel like retirement benefits in the dental world are pretty rare. So that is something that we do offer is the 401k, we match up to 4%. We do have a lot of supplemental types of insurance where, you can have you can get long-term disability, short-term disability. They have pet insurance, which I know Leah was excited about because she has a couple little dogs. So it's, we have a lot of different things you can get into, but that's our big hitters. And then lastly is PTO, which is our paid time off. You start off with 1 week paid time off. Say you have a vacation that's going to be 2 weeks or so, you get that 1 week paid, and the other week is, between you and the doctor or you in the office to kind of see if that is something you could do. And that does build up over time.
Yeah, and we have an HSC account as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's like a whole list of benefits. I was in shock. I remember when I got the paperwork, I was like, and like applying online, I was like, wow, like I didn't know all this stuff. Like this, and
there's
like
different options. Yeah. Yep. So there's different ways you can take it. So that's really nice. But yeah, our benefits are great. I worked for another DSO, like I said, and the benefits, I'm so happy to have the benefits we have. It seems like it's less for more. Like myself and my family, we have really good benefits, and it's pretty exciting. So.
Yeah, and they're always like willing. Like I just was at a meeting the other day, or it was a month ago in Chicago, and we talked about benefits actually. And they're like, you know what? If someone doesn't like them, or like I guess a couple people were like, well, are we going to update them or something? And they're like, we're going to look around and see competitive places, and like they're always willing to compete and like be up to par. Like they're not just like stuck in their old ways. They're always willing to change and be better if you voice your opinion.
Yeah, yep, they are continuously looking and comparing also. Yep,
yeah,
for sure.
Do you happen to know, with regards to, you said there are 3 different types of health plus supplemental, going into hygiene, we all know that it's hard on your body. Within those plans, is there a chiropractic, therapy, massage, more than kind of the standard
Basic
minimum that may be offered?
I could absolutely look. I don't know off the top of my head, but I am happy to look for you.
Okay,
mine has chiropractic. I don't think it has massage though.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
But they're all different. Like
Absolutely. Oh, well, since we're on the health kick, I'm just curious, is there any benefit around like a gym membership or something like that?
So we do have a I'm trying to think of what it's called.
It's like 365 something deals. I get the emails all the time. You talk about that? Okay.
Yep. So you get like this email that allows you to go to this website where there are discounts through everything, right? Yeah. So within that, I guarantee there's some sort of gym thing that I haven't come across yet. So that would be really
there is like
question.
Something. There's like a Fitbit discount. I want to say there's like even on movie like AMC movies, like you name it, like there's hotel discounts. There's like all this like huge website you can be on for like a good hour and looking at everything. I was like, I like have it bookmarked. I'm always like, I'm gonna go there and skip.
I know. I like to kind of play around and see if there's anything I want, but yeah, that's a great question, and I'm actually going to look into that a little bit more because I think that is a great point. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's something I forget about too.
Dove into.
I was like, wow, I'm getting in the weeds, but
No, I appreciate that because I was just like, oh, I'm sure there is. It's just not something I've really looked into.
I probably know the answer, but anything benefits wise with commuter costs?
No, not at this point. That's another really great question. I can tell you sometimes if, for example, we do have float positions available. So if you were to work in a couple different practices and you have your home office and then you're working at 2 other offices that are maybe 20 miles away or something, we would pay for the gas mileage for those 2 other practices if you go back and forth for those. So a lot of times we are willing to pay what it takes for having to commute around. Or if you're at a practice that maybe is far away from you, depending on the need of the practice and just kind of what you talk about, sometimes we're willing to kind of compensate for that in some way. So we're able to create, but in the benefits, there's nothing that I am aware of that is anything to do with commuter at this point.
Right. Let's just say that we send you off to like a meeting or something, like they'll pay for like the flight and things like that. What's the thing that we do with like, we go to different countries, like you can apply for that and you get, what is that called? I can't think of it off the top of my head. You know what I'm talking about? We go to like
I do know what you're talking about, but
yeah, we go to like different countries. Obviously not during COVID, but now we're probably gonna start that up again. I want to say it's twice a year. A hygienist can apply for it. They'll pay for you to go there for 2 weeks, pay for all your food and everything. And you're helping out like people, like this is life-changing experiences that I want to do that I haven't actually got to done yet or do yet. Like things like that, they'll obviously pay you for, but
it's called the healthy mouth movement is a thing we do.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. Thank you.
And we do that also around the country. We have we have a mouth mobile.
Yeah. Big bus
across the country. We donated within the last couple of years, we donated over $15 million.
Yeah.
I love that. I didn't even think about asking you guys about
Yeah. Yeah, we
that.
have a lot of volunteer opportunities too.
Yeah.
Okay, great. As far as you said you applied for the 4-in-1, do you have any idea how competitive that is? I mean, this is stuff I want to do, so if I can get paid to do it, it'd be amazing. Is that something where you can apply and be like, yeah, maybe you'll get it after 6 years of applying, or you really just can't know?
For the for
For
kind of the
the
growth.
Sorry, for the one that it's 2 weeks out in a different country. That one.
Oh, I don't know exactly what kind of the protocol is for who they are, but I tell you once again, if that is something you are super interested in, you would let Hannah know, who would let Sherry know. And Sherry would keep just being like, hey, I got somebody that wants to be a part of this. Hey, I got somebody that wants to be a part of this. And they get you, I would say a year or two. I wouldn't say it's 10 years. I would say maybe a little over a year to 2 years. She could, depending on your desire for it and everything. But Sherry, I can tell you right now, who is the director of hygiene, she will not forget. She will keep bringing it up. She will make it happen. I love Sherry. She's a partner, but yeah, she'll make it happen.
Yeah, she's awesome on our team. I believe you
That's what I was gonna say.
Aspen for like a year or two, and then you apply and interview for it. I believe
cool.
that's the process.
That makes sense for sure. Okay, so here's I don't know, here's a question. So you're telling me a lot of things that are just really positive and exciting. I don't even know if you can answer this, but what are areas where you're like, oh, we could really improve this in our model that we're working on? I don't know if anything comes to mind, kind of revealing your weaknesses a bit, but in a positive way.
No, that's a good question. That is one thing the company is super transparent on. Every, I would say 6 months to a year, Aspen does a huge engagement survey, and they're very open with their results. So us as managers of staff and everything, we take those engagement surveys and really take those to heart, and that's how we focus or be better to help serve our clinical staff as well. So that's a good question. A lot of ours really heavily focused this year on that piece of, what's next. So really honing in on the skills that you guys want us to help you with to get you to the next level. So I think that's one thing that came out of our engagement survey is what can we do as leaders to help you guys be as successful as possible and open different doors and different avenues for you.
Yeah. Also, they spoil the hygienists like crazy. I know this is not like a negative thing, this is a positive thing, but I have walked into numerous offices and like, let's just say you had a really good month or something, or you're a really good team player, like they will like recognize you and like spoil you like crazy. Like they'll buy you lunch and they'll give you little gifts. Like I've seen so much stuff. I'm just like, oh, like I want to be an Aspen hygienist now. Like, I don't know. It's really, I don't even know any negatives besides like maybe negative reviews that I've seen. But, you go to all these restaurants or you go to any dental office, there's always, private practice as well. Nothing is going to be perfect. There could be drama, but you have like support staff to like help you figure it out. You're not just on your own, like, oh, great, now I have to ignore that person or something. Like, I feel like that's really the only negative stuff is like the negative reviews about one, the expensive treatment plans, which we talked about how it's a full comprehensive thing and they break it down. And then possibly the drama in different offices is where it could be with any office or a doctor, even things like that.
Yeah, I would say my big suggestion when, somebody asks me that is culture practice of practice is going to be different, just like private practices. You have different teams and different practices. Somebody could feel totally at home at one practice and not feel like the culture totally fits them in another practice. Mm-hmm. So my big suggestion is you go to a practice and shadow or meet a team, ask them those questions. Be like, what do you love about your job? What are some things you can improve? We want to be transparent and we want to address those things. So, we only know so much, but the people that, you know, are in those practices could definitely kind of let you know where we can improve. Sure.
Yeah. That's a good suggestion, Ellie.
Okay, thank you. Well, I mean, I probably have a million more questions, but
That's okay.
I haven't had my coffee
Yeah,
yet.
thank you for asking the questions. You had great questions. And I love that they were really unique too. They weren't always the typical, and I really appreciate that because they're really great questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good thing I'm not caffeinated, or I'd just fire them out.
I know it's Monday morning. Sometimes I just talk and talk and talk, but you know, it's Monday morning, so Hannah and Leah get a break today.
Oh, well, we're gonna get off this, and I'm gonna think of a million more. But for now, like, I really appreciate.
Call us. It doesn't matter. Just reach out to us.
We'll give you info, so you can just send us a list of questions. We're happy to answer them.
Yeah, I can put
I
my
tell
email on here too for you guys, just so everyone can have it, and you can always reach out. That Ashley can be a resource too if you have anyone wanting to do the shadows and whatnot as well.
And what I tell people, I tell people, and if there's a question I don't know the answer to, Hannah, Leah, somebody knows it, and I'm happy to find it out. You know, I'm not going to say I know it if I don't know it, because I don't know a lot of things. I know some things, but I don't know a lot of things. And luckily I have these great, friends and coworkers that do know it. So.
See, the email just came through. Thanks for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I put my phone number too. You can call or text me too. Doesn't matter.
Let's see.
I'm available.
I haven't gotten that one yet.
Beth, do you have any? I have Paw back with me. Do you have any questions clinically?
Oh man. Let's see. Pa, I forgot how long you said you'd been working as a clinician there.
Here since March of this year.
Since March, okay.
Yes.
And I already, you love it. I can tell. As far as, the training programs to set you up for as much success as possible. Just curious, like, what are the times that you've found for your prophy, perio maintenance, SRP patients? Like, what's worked for you so far with your setting times?
Well, for me, I'm a little bit more experienced, so I'm able to, so let's just say two here for 2 hours for SRPs, because you do have to step out for new patients. And then for regular prophies, an hour. And then for perio maintenance, anywhere from 1 hour to an hour and 10, 15 minutes. 10 minutes. We do 10-minute increments, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's been a hygienist for 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But like I said too, don't let that scare you at all. Everyone's different, and you can make your own times completely.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, they have the flexibility here, and they will work with you. You can always test it out. If you need 2.5 hours and you realize, hey, I don't need that much time, they can always adjust that for you or add more time. So don't be nervous about that at all.
Okay.
That was one of my biggest fears coming out of school though, because you
Same.
get so long in lab or in clinic, and then, your instructors are like, you have to do this in 60 minutes. I'm like, there's no way I can do it, but you can do it.
You go from a 4-hour cleaning to a 1-hour cleaning. I was like,
Yeah.
how did that happen?
Yes.
Oh, you guys are making me feel better about that.
You can do it, I promise.
Yes.
So Paul, what is your favorite, I'm going to say favorite 2, because I think 1 will be easy enough, thing day to day that the office provides that you're just like, wow, this makes my life so much easier. I love this. Like, what comes to mind?
With my clinic, we have such a good team here, and you really do have to work as a team. You have to communicate constantly with each other. The doctor needs your help, you need the assistant's help, and that made it the easiest, because cleaning, it's pretty repetitive. So when in a sense where you're cleaning, you're scaling, but when it comes to kind of teamwork, it makes your life flow. The flow of everything makes everything so much easier. So.
Okay. What about like technology wise or a tool, something like that?
Technology wise, once you get the hang of any dental software, it's about the same. You have to enter certain codes in, you have to attach certain things. So you'll eventually learn it. I think that was the toughest part as a new grad going in. But like I said, with Aspen, they give you all the tools you need to be successful here. And everyone's so helpful. The doctor, assistants, managers. So you'll get the hang of it.
Got it. Thank you. Oh, I do see that we're after 10:30 and Allison's saying she needs to leave. Which thanks, Allison. It was good to meet you.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you,
nice
Allie.
to meet you. I'll give you my info. Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
thanks. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep you all longer. I certainly appreciate the
You're
time,
fine.
and I have contact
You're okay,
info
yeah.
now.
You're
We're
fine.
here to
We're here
help.
for you.
Okay. Sorry, chat coming through. Let's see here. I really need my coffee, guys. I'm sorry.
You should not sip in your coffee this morning.
No. Oh, it's really like I can tell I'm addicted to caffeine and how like my brain's like, wait.
Me too. I don't have it. I'm like a totally different person. I'm just like, I'm like angry and slew.
For sure. Man, I'll just have to email. There's a few places where, you're talking and it's like, oh, I want to ask about that. And then it's, it's not there.
Forget about it.
So,
That's okay.
If you want to come into any of our offices too, just let us know. You can reach out to me, Allie, and or Leah to really get a good feel. Like everyone has said, each office is going to be a little bit different, but that will just give you a good idea of Aspen in and out every single day.
Okay, great. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it again and hope the rest of Monday goes well and it's a good week for us all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you
And
for
good luck
joining.
on the rest of your exams and schooling.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you. It's appreciated.
It's a lot of work here at the end, but it's worth it.
Yeah. When do you
Yeah.
graduate officially? End of August, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, coming up super quick.
I know.
Too fast.
Oh,
I feel like I'm not ready. You might be ready, Steph, but I'm not ready.
I don't know. Yes and no, Dr. Chenard. Yes and no. Okay. I'm just trying to get this chat to save on my computer. So
Yeah.
let me mute my keyboard phone.
Ashley, do you have anything else for us?
No, I don't think so. Leah, I'm gonna connect with you following this because I know that you had asked me, for the students who were interested in like doing like more of an activity, if you could reach out to them as well. And I think that would be a really cool idea.
Yeah,
So I'll check back into that survey and see which ones had responded. And, maybe it's, if you wanted to think about something and send that out, I could send it out to the whole class because I'm not sure if the ones who didn't respond were not interested or they just, didn't respond to the survey. So yeah, I
could take them to like a paint and sip if they just want to go to dinner. Like you tell
Yeah.
me like what they want to do and I'll do it.
Okay, cool. I'll actually, hey Steph, if you're still on, would you mind asking your classmates if what kind of activity you guys would like to do with Leah?
I'm sorry, what did you mean by activity? I'm
Like
like,
I'm just gonna take you guys out, have fun. We can talk about Aspen. We don't have to talk about Aspen. We can just to get to know me and just be like a contact and a friend to like contact when you need help with anything.
okay, yeah, no, I can certainly.
Yeah, she was talking about like there's some different options, like those like paint and sip nights and things like that. Or I mean, there's other ideas too, but I don't really know what your class likes to do outside of school. So I figured you'd probably know that better.
We don't know either, especially with COVID.
That's That's the problem with hygiene school too. I feel like you're just working so hard in school. It's hard to imagine life outside. But yeah, we can do fun events. And like Leah said, talk about Aspen, not talk about Aspen. We just want to be here as a resource for you guys for all things dental hygiene.
Right. Take you to Top Golf. I could take you guys to dinner, bowling, like you name it, and we'll do it. We'll have fun.
All right. Well, that sounds fun. I'll get a feel for that probably later in this week after we get done with a couple tests that Dr. Sharn is very aware of.
I get it. School comes first. I get it.
Yeah, but no, thanks. That sounds like fun. And I'm sure after a bit we'll come out of the days and we'll remember what it is to have fun. So
right, like a normal life again. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be bored. That's what students tell me right after they graduate. They're like, I don't know what to do with my time.
That's how I was. I'm like, I feel bored now.
Oh, huh.
It'll come.
There, trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll make sure that I pass anything I hear along. And just again, guys, thank you so much. And we'll speak later.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
See ya.